This dry weather is bad. We don't have any rain in sight for the next at least 10 days. That is bad, very bad. I'm probably gonna have to spend another $1,200 to $1,400 on hay. In fact, I probably should go ahead and call my hay guy. I don't want to move these cows onto this land and let them eat it down that high. The grass depends on a solar panel, and all those little leaves that are on your grass, all the blades of grass are what soaks up the energy from the sun to make the grass grow. But if there's no water in the soil, it ain't gonna grow. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. There's Randy. Welcome back to the farm. It's a gorgeous day here today. We've got some work to do. So if you guys caught the last few videos, I guess probably over the last week or so, we've had my friend Frank back over here on the backside of the farm, clearing some pastures and building a nice bridge over there. Well, we got some follow-up to do over there. I've got to take the Wingfield drag harrow and the big TYM tractor over there, and we got to drag these fields smooth. They're really, really rough right now. So we'll give you a little bit of before and after. This is probably going to be like 4 to 6 hours of pasture dragging with the big drag harrow to make sure we get it all just right. First thing we got to do, we have a drought, a severe drought. And I know the green grass on this lawn doesn't look like it, but we are in a severe drought condition here in North Carolina, which has really drastically slowed the amount of cattle movement that I can do and the amount of grass that my cows can eat. So a couple weeks ago, I bought 34 more hay bales for the farm to get me through during the wet season. In other words, it was supposed to be the wet season. We're supposed to be getting tons of good grass growth right now, and we are not getting grass growth like we should. So I'm gonna go over here. We're gonna be moving the cows first across the pasture, and you'll understand a little more of the farm layout. Over that direction is where the new hay fields are gonna be and the new pasture that's gonna be fenced soon. And over here is directly across from my house. That's where the cattle are right now, and they're grazing on about 7 acres right now. We're gonna bump them over to some of the best grass on the farm, but it's not good. It's just not good right now. So let's get to work. First things first, get these chickens, little baby chicks, checked on and get these cattle moved. And we'll grab the tractor and we'll start dragging the dust. It's gonna be way dusty. You guys hear Randy down there? What a pain in the butt. Randy just crows and crows and crows. Every time he sees me walk out the door, he's on me. So our new baby chicks are in here. Let's open this guy up. Hey, birdie birds. They're all doing pretty well. They're starting to really consume some food now. As you guys can tell, the feeder is empty. We'll pour this out for them. They'll poke their way through that. We're gonna be upgrading from the small feeders like this guy and the small waterer like this guy. We're gonna let them finish that one up to the larger ones here in the next day or so. What I need to do is actually hang this feeder up in the coop, and I want to have it adjustable so it'll hang probably about right there, and then as the chickens get bigger and bigger and bigger, we'll move it up further and further to about there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna leave this in the coop so that they get used to it, because chickens are chicken, right? They're scared of everything. later on today or tomorrow, I'm gonna get up here and tie up a chain, and then I'll have a piece of chain hanging down just low enough to where I can slowly move it up the chain. And that's how all that works. Our waterer is gonna have to go up on these blocks right here. So let me grab that real quick and show you. This is just fun stuff to learn. This is just what I've learned over the years taking care of chickens as well. Now these little baby chicks, you can see them back in there. Hey birdies. Hey birdies. They're all doing very, very well. We did end up losing the one chick that I told you guys we were probably going to lose. One just did not thrive, and there was nothing I could really do. I kept it clean, I kept it warm, I took as good a care of it as I could, but there was just nothing I could do. It took him about 4 days to eventually pass away. And that happens when you're raising chickens. So don't be disappointed in yourself if that does happen if you're raising baby chicks. Now, you see this waterer, it's sitting up on a piece of cardboard. That is to keep this debris out of the water. It's okay for now, because we're going to be replacing it with this waterer. Okay, so this waterer is about a 3.5 gallon, and we're kind of parked on a hillside right here, and always want to put our spout on the downhill side. Now we need enough room for the chicks to be able to walk up here and get to that water. Okay, so they'll come up here, doot, 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 hop up here and drink. Okay, we get it up and elevated, because if we didn't have it up and elevated, these chickens are going to dig. They're going to do that right there. And they're just going to make a mess in their waterer. They'll probably drink one of these 3-gallon waterers completely full in about 2 days. It's a lot of food and a lot of water. Now what we are putting in our feeder right now is called chick starter. And that's what that is right there. Just a little chick starter. It's crumbles. When it comes down to it, I use crumbles to start my chicks, and then I use pellets once they get old enough to lay. Crumbles crumble. They make a mess. The chickens kick them out all over everywhere, and they make a total big mess. If I use pellets, they don't rake them out everywhere like they do with the crumbles. And we're going to set this on the very lowest setting so that they don't get in here and dig as well. That's the whole purpose of hanging it up, is to keep them from digging and making a mess and wasting feed. And the whole purpose of putting the water thing up is so that the water doesn't go to waste. We keep our spout pointed down the hill, and they can't kick all this debris in there and cause problems like they're doing right here. Clean water, warmth, and a dry place is what these chicks need. Now, our temperatures are getting down in the 60s at night now. I don't have to run a heat lamp anymore. The baby chicks are just fine. They're acclimated to the cold weather. When baby chicks are first born, they cannot regulate their own body temperature. And for at least the first week, maybe 2 weeks, we need to keep a heat lamp in there to keep them warm. Now we're starting to get our circadian rhythms in place. In other words, they sleep all night, they get up in the day, they start roosting, they start growing up and becoming kind of adult chickens. Right now, they're called pullets. Let's go check on the cows. Contact. This is an Arlo security camera. Farm security is super important to me. I have cameras down here at my gate. I'm going to show you guys real quick. This is kind of fun. Like I said, farm security is super, super important to me, and having the peace of mind knowing that my gate is closed. That's the first line of security for your property. If you don't have a gate at your property, you ain't gotta have a fancy Beverly Hillbillies gate like this. If you don't have a gate at your property, you're kind of cutting yourself short. That's the first line of defense. That gate and these cameras. There's this camera here. Basically, boop, it's magnetic. It goes on right here. It has a very broad field of view, so I can check my gate. It tracks everything in and out of the farm. And if I go away from the farm, I know that my gate is closed. They do have, Arlo has some optional solar panels, so it's basically maintenance free. It doesn't cost me anything. I'm not affiliated with Arlo at all. I have done some security camera videos with other companies, and I'll show you these other two. The second best one that I found, well, the best one that I found, honestly, is Eufy Cam. There's a camera right here, by the way. Get that guy off. Sometimes that gets set off by spiders at night. There's a camera there. You guys are gonna love this. There's a Eufy Cam right here. There's a camera here. And there's an Anona security camera right here. So, and there's a Reolink camera right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cameras at my gate. I have 5 cameras at my gate. Ask me how many I have at the house, at the shop, at the buildings, on the backside of the farm, in the trees. I've got them everywhere, guys. Anything moves here, I know it. And that's super important to keep your farm secure, very secure. Side saddle on the Honda. By the way, this is a Honda Rubicon 700. I don't own it. Honda let me borrow it to use on the farm, which is super awesome. Thank you, Honda. Thank you so much. Super flattered. So the cows are here, and we've got some good signs of happy cows. This is a sign of happy cows right here. They're laying down, they're ruminating. That's what we want. There isn't a lot of difference in the grass that's been growing and the grass they've been eating. They've only been out here for about 24 hours. And what I've been doing is checking on them pretty frequently with the drone. I'll toss the drone up in the air and I'll fly over here and I'll check them. Make sure everybody's doing just fine. That's Donnie the bull right there. So where we're gonna put the cows next is this section of pasture right here. And before I do that, I gotta make sure, first of all, that I wake the cows up. Everybody needs to get up, and what they'll do is everybody will wake up, kind of move around, shuffle around, poop and pee right here, and then we'll get them moved over. We don't want to put them on the dinner table and let them poop all over it. So we get them up, they'll wake up, stir around, do their poop, do their pee, and then we'll move them down here. So let's go check the fence, just double check so that they don't get out. We'll be back, kids. We'll be back. Don't you worry. I don't think they're worried. So just so you know where we are from where we were, the baby chicks in the house is right over there. And the new pasture is right over here across the creek. You can almost see it through the woods right there. What I'm checking is that fence line right there. All the way down, we got some beautiful green grass here. Okay. Just gonna check this wire too, to make sure. Cows were in here about 2 days ago, around 3 days ago. And I basically can see from here everything I need to see. This line goes all the way around, up through there, and up to where the cows are. You can see them up there. So we're gonna put them on somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe another 6 acres right here. That'll be plenty of grazing for the next 2 days, along with supplementing with hay. This dry weather is bad. We don't have any rain in sight for the next at least 10 days. That is bad, very bad. I'm probably gonna have to spend another $1,200 to $1,400 on hay. In fact, I probably should go ahead and call my hay guy. I don't want to move these cows onto this land and let them eat it down that high. The grass depends on a solar panel, and all those little leaves that are on your grass, all the blades of grass are what soaks up the energy from the sun to make the grass grow. But if there's no water in the soil, it ain't gonna grow. Let's go make all these animals happy. What a great life when you can make 50 animals happy for breakfast. Morning, kids. Morning. Guys, this is their water source. Basically, they mash that ball down and they've got good, clean water. The well is a 1/4 mile over there. We've got water pipe in the ground all the way along. This is my friend. Oh, that's BJ. That's not Butthead. This might be Butthead. No, that's Jumper. That's BJ. Some of them will let me rub them and some won't. Let's see here. Let's see if we can find a friend to rub on. Hey kids. Everybody make the poopies. Everybody making the poo-poo. Excuse me. Hey, what are you up to? This is Sweetie. Okay. Everybody making the poopy. That's Cindy. That's Tammy. And all the babies. So far, we've got 11 calves this year. Everybody's doing great, and the calves get a little bit freaked out with me, but that's okay. All this revolves centrally around the watering system here on the farm. So the water system needs to be within about 400 to 450 feet of where the cows are grazing. It's a little bit too far down there. And what that's gonna do is create cow trails. So the cows, I guess you guys have all driven by a farm and seen the trails that the cows make through the field. In order to eliminate those cow trails, we keep the water tanks within 450 feet of the cows at all times, if at all possible. And this is called a spring gate by Strain Right. It is a spring that acts as a gate, and it's electric fence. Cool? Hey girl, tickle tickle. All right. You'll notice this is just gentle animal handling at its best. Look at these guys. They want to move. They always want to move. I want you guys to give me a head count when they come through. Come on, kids. I'm going to count with you. There's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's a baby back there. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. There's one that just escaped through. Donnie! Hey, bro. Come on through here, bro. Get your butt on in there. Get your butt in there. Donnie be giving me the stanky eye all the time. Daggone it. You don't have to move for nobody. I counted 37. How many did you guys count? That's what I counted. 37. That's a lot of animals to look after. I thought we were closer to 50. We're still expecting 6 or 7 more calves this year, but man, look at them. They're not in a rush. They're not starving. They're doing good. We're gonna be bringing hay out here, and they're not gonna like going back to eating hay after this green grass. If I roll out hay on this beautiful green pasture right now, they just simply will not eat it. Let's go get the tractor and get to work home back there dragging these fields. Ah! Oh, I just got the crap shocked out of me. Oh, got me right in my pants right there. Oh, daddy. Now I know why the cows respect it. Oh, once in a while, you just gotta get a good shock in, make you feel like you're alive. This is the TYMT 1104. It's a 110 horsepower tractor. Do I need a 110 horsepower tractor to drag this big drag harrow? The answer is no, but man, it makes life so much easier. So this is the Wingfield American harrow right here. It has 4 hydraulic line hookups right here, okay? So we got one set of hydraulics to raise and lower this way, and one set of hydraulics to lower the wings, and you'll get to see that in action here in just a little bit. This is a pasture drag, but it's more than a pasture drag. It's what I use to maintain the common areas here, the driveways. I've got a smaller one on the back of the tractor. I've got one that fits on the front of the skid steer. And this one is the real ground coverer. So it's 25 feet wide. They make them that are 3-point. They basically sit on your 3-point on your tractor. You can raise and lower it, or they make them in a cart like this, or just a standard drag. So you can go super duper fancy, or you can go super duper simple, drag it with an ATV. When the cows move off of a pasture like they just did, we'll go back in behind them and drag out all those manure pats so we don't have big piles of manure. We've spread our nutrient out on the soil. That's where the Wingfield American harrow really shines. Now, I've never used this thing to smooth, rough land, but I think it's going to do a great job, and today is going to be a bit of an experiment. So let's fire up the tractor and head on over. Before we head over there, I'm gonna take a little, what they call a look-see. Under this machine, I see a little drip, a little dribble under here. Yep. I don't want to see a little dribble, but I see a tiny drip right there. I am not a fan of finding a tiny dribble under my tractor. I do not like that. Whether that's residual, I'll bet you I know what it is. When I hooked up these hydraulic lines the other day, I had a little dribble come out of there. That's what it is. Whew. Don't want to deal with an oil leak. Not on a machine this big. Contact. So we've got about a 4-minute drive across the farm real quick on Big T right here. I don't need a tractor this big to accomplish this task, but that harrow will work the crap out of the 55 horsepower tractor, and this has a nice air ride seat in it, so it's bouncy over there. You'll see in just a second. There'll be a lot of bouncing around. Tight squeeze in this gate. Yep, we got it. Woo! That's a pucker factor 17 right there, boy. Woo! We're gonna have a lot of dust in the air today. Hammer down. As I make the drive over here, I gotta be thinking about all that I'm gonna do. So anytime the wheels are in motion on the tractor, we gotta be thinking about, I'm burning fuel, what should I be doing? I don't know if this is gonna work. I honestly don't. I have used things like, I took some buckets and screwed them to a pallet and drug them around behind the side-by-side before. I've used the harrow to drag things smooth, but never anything on this scale. And gosh, I've used other implements on the back of the tractor like the box scrape and the scrape blade, but this would take forever with that scrape blade. So we're getting ready to cruise into the woods here. This little section of forest has a road through it, a gravel road. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna drop the drag. Like I said, wheels are in motion. Anytime those wheels are in motion, we need to be using the tractor to its furthest extent. This machine does a fantastic job in dressing or top dressing a driveway or gravel drive. So I'll take you guys, we'll get you a little bit of before footage up close and a little bit of after to show you just how good of a job or how bad of a job this harrow does in smoothing out rough land. This could be the tool that I should have had 15 years ago when we cleared all of these fields. And when we get the drone up in the air, you'll see that I cleared somewhere in the neighborhood, well, we cut timber on 85 acres and fenced in about, we cut timber on 100 acres and fenced in about 85 acres. If y'all didn't see us build the bridge in the prior video, I will post a link to that at the end of this. It is a fun video to watch and it's interesting. The farm is just a never-ending job, man. Just never ever ending. So all the dirt from the bridge project came from this right here. I am inclined to drive over here on this, drop her down into medium. Let's go medium 2. Pull forward a little bit. Try to get that harrow to where it doesn't catch the fence. It will catch the fence. Ask me how I know. Okay. I don't know how good it's going to do right here because this dirt is really, really hard. It's a hard packed clay. Now you see what I mean by a hard packed clay. That's what we got. I don't think it's going to do very good over here, but the dirt on the other side is super good. We're going to back and pull forward 4 or 5 times here and see what happens. This ain't no joke right here, man. This is some rough stuff. I think I just got my tire in the little pond right here too. I'm gonna come back in here with a skid steer as soon as I get my new skid steer, I hope. And we're gonna scoop off the top layer of this and utilize it. I think it looks good though. We're getting there. I think it did a great job, man. I smoothed it out nice. I still got some big old clods, like dirt clods back over in here, but I smoothed it out. It looks much better than it did. Look at the dust. I'm only 20 feet from the tractor here. You can't even see it. Ugh. Ugh. Can't be good for you. I remember being a kid and breathing that stuff in and just not even thinking twice. I think twice in my adult life now. Whew. This is the new bridge right here. This thing is huge. It's the first time I've taken a machine across it. I don't know what I'm gonna do. How I want to drag it. I want to slow down is what I want to do. It's a little soft on the edges. Back up. I ain't gonna back up too far. The harrow's gonna run off in the ditch. Yeah, buddy. It's pulling up a ton of rocks that we put in the bridge there. Might not be a good idea to drag that bridge anymore. So what we got here is a lot of rocks. I got to get in here and pick up all these rocks. That new skid steer can't come soon enough. You see what we have here, just judging off of my foot. This is probably 4 inches deep, but it is just powdery. Okay, this is a sandy soil right here. What I'm gonna do is probably back in here and work this just a little bit. I'm gonna come over and mow all this with the Ventrac or with the new skid loader and the brush cutter, if and when that happens. I'm looking at a new Bobcat skid loader, by the way. Dragging across here, I think I'm gonna drag back and forth maybe 3 more times. And it's gonna pull a lot of rocks up and it's gonna pull a lot of debris up, but I don't really care that it pulls that up, because then I'll come over with just the machine and run over this and pack those rocks down next time it rains. So that'll be okay. So first little bit you're gonna get to see is me working on this spot. So I'm gonna come through, turn around, go across the bridge, come back, turn around, go across the bridge. Do that 3 or 4 times. And then we're headed over there, which is a lot. We probably got 4 acres. I say a lot, not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but probably 4 acres of really rough land. And then we'll cut across and go over here. And there are 3 little spots that need to be dressed up over there. want to say it did a great job, a fantastic job. All that smoothed out. I did kick up a bunch of rocks on the bridge. I knew that was going to happen. Next thing we got to do is all the way out through here, and I probably will only have to go back and forth maybe 4 or 5 times, and then we'll work our way to the other pasture. I'm fighting daylight now. Sun's low in the sky. Probably be pretty beautiful watching all the dust fly up in the air. I hate to watch the dust fly, but it is what it is. So dry out here, so super dry. This isn't nearly as much as it is over there. This is probably 1.5 acres of dirt, and the rest of it is all in grass. Not good grass either. It's gonna take me some time, guys, and I'll show you how I work on these pastures and develop these fields into really nice fields for hay and for raising the cattle. Big fencing project coming soon. It's a lot of work to get all this fenced. So if I cut around the outside edge first, I kind of smooth it as I go in. And when you're running a drag harrow like this, you don't want to just go back and forth one direction. You want to swirl it around. So what I'll do first is go around the outside edge, and that cuts me a smoother path so that I'm not getting back surgery tomorrow, which is important. Guys, if you like this kind of stuff, please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you back here on the Stoney Ridge with me. This is just fun. Building this first generation farm has been the biggest project of my life, and I'm super proud to have brought all you guys along with me. I've been making videos for about 11 years now. Let me know if I've inspired you to do a project similar to this for yourself, or inspired you to get out and start farming, start homesteading, start living a more sustainable life. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Post some comments down there. really did a fantastic job. So you saw how rough it was before. Now, man, it's just powdery, but look at that. We get a couple rains on this, and it's gonna look fantastic. I got a little bit of work to do with a landscape rake out here, clean up all of this brush and debris. But I think that drag harrow really did the trick. This was a disaster before, guys. I'm so happy to have this for grazing the cattle. This is really gonna increase my number of cattle that I can run on the farm. So between this field and the pond that I'm gonna build in between, we're looking at nearly doubling the capacity of the farm. We can start earning a living at this. Good stuff. Thank you guys so much for joining me today on the Stoney Ridge Farm. I'm gonna finish up over there on the other side, get you guys a little footage of that. We will catch you in the next video. Be sure you stick around to the end. There might be some bloopers, and there's always another video at the end, or 2 or 3, that you can check out. I'll post a video of clearing all this. Take care. See you next time. Oh, back surgery's tomorrow. I'm just one of those guys. I just like to drag. Kind of a drag, isn't it? Seen a deer run, a big old deer running over there. Shade, sun, shade, sun. Digging up sticks. I'm digging up sticks. Y'all come back now. You hear?